Hey guys, this is Irfa here and welcome to my new video. I've been using the 2020 iPad Pro for almost 2 months and this is my review. Before we dive into the discussion about the latest model, let's talk about the 2018 iPad Pro which I bought in 2019. It was the first Apple product I ever used. With this iPad, Apple changed the design of the iPad Pro radically. They replaced Lightning port with USB-C, Touch ID with Face ID, and those huge bezels with symmetrical minimal bezel. It was the most powerful, most beautiful, and most impressive iPad. Even the specs do not matter when it comes to iOS devices. This iPad is packed with some amazing internals. A12X Bionic, the fastest in any mobile device, storage starting at 64 GB and going all the way till 1 TB, and 4 or 6 gigs of RAM if you get the top end 12.9-inch 1 TB model, and 12 megapixel rear camera you find on iPhone XR. It was easily the fastest mobile device that I had ever got my hands on. Everything was snappy, smooth, and not once I had to wait for any app to open. But it was just another glorious machine with limiting software and no external support for USB-C devices except for displays. It was nowhere near being a laptop replacement as Apple had advertised. Simply put, it was just another iPhone on steroids. Then almost a year later, iPadOS was released. And Apple added mouse support, made the icons smaller, added widgets to the home screen, multitasking, and support to external USB-C devices. And plethora of changes were made for good, which radically changed the way an iPad will be used. Even though it didn't replace my laptop, I constantly found myself using it. It was thin, it was light, and it was easy to unlock. I used it whenever I felt like watching something on YouTube or Netflix, browsing the web, playing games, and all other silly things. I had it for almost 6 months, and in the midst of this pandemic, 2020 iPad Pro was released. The 2020 iPad Pro borrowed almost everything from the earlier model, and not much was changed. And I'm glad they did. Why fix something which isn't broken? It included the same design, it came out in the same sizes, 11-inch and 12.9-inch, and same colors, silver and space grey, and you could use all your 2018 iPad Pro accessories with the new one. Even though 12.9-inch model is really fun to use, I think a lot of people will buy the 11-inch version as it is more portable and affordable. It has the same 120Hz ProMotion display, exceptional screen which can get really bright, great battery life, and amazing quad speakers. It also has same Face ID which improved a lot. And I'm gonna say just Face ID everything. It is fast, it's reliable, and it never failed for me. It works in all directions, upwards, downwards, and sideways. Technically they have the same chip, but Apple unlocked one of its GPU cores from A12X which will probably help with intense gaming and named it A12Z. So the internals go like this. It is packed with A12Z Bionic and the base model starts at 128 GB rather than 64 GB and goes all the way till 1 TB. And it is 6 GB RAM across all the models. The major difference is the cameras and the microphones that came along with this. They have included the same 12 megapixel camera from the iPhone 11 Pro and added that fun ultra-wide camera without the OIS. There is a portrait mode which can be used only with the front-facing camera, which has all these bells and whistles where you can adjust the depth of field and stuff like studio lighting, which I'm never going to use except for the purpose of this video. I don't think anybody would be using their iPad Pro for photography. But these cameras are great if any application is willing to take advantage of that. And the time of flight LiDAR scanner, yes, the same ones you keep hearing about when it comes to driverless cars. But in a miniaturized version which will help with the augmented reality stuff. You can still use your older iPad Pro or basically any device with camera for augmented reality, but this LiDAR scanner just makes things easier. With the older iPad Pro, you have to move the camera around for the surfaces to get detected. But with the newer one, once you open any app that has AR support, it will start detecting the surfaces right away. Ikea Place is one of the best examples and it is so fun to use that app. Look at this lamp. It is not only a lamp but also a Wi-Fi speaker. When I start playing the music, it plays the music, and when I go closer, there is a band inside the lamp that is playing something. It is so much fun. I will leave the link in the description below and the name of the lamp if you want to have some fun with that. With the 2020 iPad Pro, you get the same studio quality microphones and speakers from the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Along with all of this, they also added the Trackpad Support in iPadOS and unveiled this unique, amazing accessory, the Magic Keyboard. It connects to the iPad Pro via the proprietary pins on the back and doesn't need any charging at all. iPad Pro stays in place by magnetically attaching itself to the Magic Keyboard, and you don't have to worry about your iPad Pro falling off. These are some really powerful magnets that if you put your iPad Pro against your fridge, it just stays there. And by the way, it powers itself using the iPad Pro, and the whole operation is seamless, and it can easily snap in and snap out. It is so satisfying that sometimes I snap in and snap out just for fun. When the iPad is connected to the Magic Keyboard, it floats over the keys, which helps with the viewing angle. And you can adjust the viewing angle of the laptop up to 135 degrees. Did I just say laptop? Darn you, Apple. This Magic Keyboard is built like a tank and has no flex at all. It doesn't wobble when you touch it like how the touchscreen laptops usually do. It is sturdy, flappable, and weight is equally distributed, and the case is actually heavier than the iPad Pro. The Magic Keyboard increases the heft and the bulk of the laptop by almost 2 times. But that is a trade-off I think no one would mind. The Magic Keyboard has the same backlit scissor switch keys as the 16-inch MacBook Pro with 1mm travel. It also has an amazing trackpad, which is not as good as the one on the MacBook, but way better than any other Windows laptops out there. The trackpad support has been achieved by mimicking the pointer as a round touch-based interface, basically letting people know that this is still a touch-first device. The cursor adapts to the content such as buttons, app icons, and text. For example, in the Notes app, it takes the form of round pointer when you are scrolling. Inside the notes, it becomes a text editing pointer and takes the form of the UI element when you hover over them. When you go to the home screen, the icons pop and become bigger when you hover the pointer over them. The keyboard and trackpad behavior can be changed. The brightness of the keys is adjustable, and many other things can be modified to create shortcuts on the keyboard. You just have to go into the settings to make these changes. Which is kind of a bummer, but hey, at least you have the option to do it. If you have used a MacBook trackpad before, almost all of the gestures you use are applicable here. Like 3-finger swipe to switch between the apps, 2-finger scroll, pinch to zoom, and keyboard shortcuts like Command Tab to directly access the apps. But you can't use Command Q to quit any app. But you can achieve it when you use Command Tab and then clicking Command Q to quit. The Magic Keyboard has a USB-C port which helps with pass-through USB-C charging, and it charges just as fast as through the normal port. That leaves the option to connect your iPad Pro to an external USB-C device like an external drive or display. I would have liked a set of function keys on the top row, but that is not a deal breaker. Everything about this Magic Keyboard is great, and once you use it, you won't want to go back to using any other keyboard for your iPad Pro. If you have a Mac and if it supports macOS Catalina, then you can use your iPad as an external display by using a feature called as Sidecar. With Sidecar, you can use your iPad as a display that extends or mirrors your Mac. You can do it over the Wi-Fi or over the wire. It works really well, and you can use the Apple Pencil to point, click, select, and perform tasks such as drawing, editing photos, and manipulating objects on your iPad, while it's still extending or mirroring your Mac display. I realize we didn't talk about the Apple Pencil at all. There was a time when Apple disliked stylus, and after a long time, they released one and called it Apple Pencil. It supported the older iPad Pros, and you had to charge it via Lightning connector, and it was a mess, and everyone made fun of it. Then alongside the 2018 iPad Pro, they released this second generation Apple Pencil. It attaches magnetically to the side of your iPad Pro and automatically pairs and charges on the go. This is one of the best styli available on the market. It is ergonomic, feels natural when you hold it, and iPad Pro's palm rejection means you are never annoyed when you use it. The latency is only 9 milliseconds and you feel almost no lag at all. When you double tap the Apple Pencil, it activates the eraser, which works with most of the apps, like Procreate and GoodNotes. Now it is the time to talk about the price, which for many of us is the deciding factor when it comes to buying a new product. The 2020 iPad Pro starts at $799 for 11-inch Wi-Fi only 128GB model, and the price goes up from there. The version I have is an 11-inch 256GB Wi-Fi and cellular model, which costs $1049. Unless you are lucky enough to find someone with buyer's remorse selling a brand new one for half the price like I did. Then there is this Magic Keyboard. It costs $299 for the 11-inch version and $349 for 12.9-inch version. So even the lowest configuration iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard will add up to $1,100. And at that point, you are getting into mid-tier MacBook Air and lower-end 13-inch MacBook Pro. The final question, does the 2020 iPad Pro replace your computer or laptop? I think it depends on who you ask that question. If someone can get their work done with the iPad Pro, then for sure, for them it is their computer. But for someone like me, it just reduces the usage of PC or a Mac. I still need my Windows PC or MacBook Pro to code, edit and run some pretty intensive tasks. For everything else, I pick up my iPad Pro because it is really fun to use. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and have a good day.